Hello and welcome back to another great video about how Trump's approval rating is absolutely surging. Now, the breaking news is that in the RCP polls, most importantly speaking, he is peaking so hard you would think that, he got the economy to go at 4% GDP growth, but it's rather the opposite. What we have now is an economy that was, at least before the stimulus bill, going towards a recession, then depression. What we see is a certain economy that is not necessarily doing so strong, nor had the liquidity to survive because of the economic realities. Now, I personally think that he does not hold the blame for this virus, and people are looking at that. People are saying that he does not have the responsibility for it, and they're obviously knowing that the Chinese are at fault. But not only that, but the approval rating for him handling the virus is over 50%. That is to say that his approval rating among Republicans is about 95%, and then support in other parties isn't substantial. That is to say also that he is doing great, and anything over 50% in terms of an approval rating of something he does will help him overall. Now, when we look at the Dow's up 4% today basically because of this stimulus that's coming out, and the stimulus that is coming out is necessarily going to help with the liquidity crisis going on with businesses and people getting laid off. Unemployment on steroids, as Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had said, was exactly what people needed, and they're going to be appreciative of the president. The Democrats are ostensibly going to come in and protest the bill as much as they can to put in as much junk and pork they can put into it because they think, oh, it's a $2 trillion bill. So they're going to put in global warming and carbon taxes or whatever they can possibly get in there because they're all, environmentalist. Now, Trump has been triangulating himself to say that the left are do-nothing Democrats, that they are not getting things done, that he is trying to he hasn't really even said it really, but it is necessarily to say the implication is he is he's claiming the Democrats are trying to stop him from passing the stimulus. Mitch McConnell's trying to get the stimulus through, and it is not working. That is really what is happening. And when you take into account that Biden himself is supporting the stimulus vaguely, it means that he's not even hitting Trump on the issue, which he needs to do. This is really important. And why I think this is because Donald Trump was usually at about 45% approval, 53% disapproval in the RCP polls. And what we can talk about the polls is that he is 3% behind usually in terms of the polls, in terms of them being curbed. Because remember, he was 3 points behind Hillary in the general. So let's assume that this is 3 points in favor. That is to say that Trump's approval is about at 50%, and the disapproval would be like at 46ish, which is incredible. That means that he has a majority, ostensibly, of the country. Remember, he won independence in 2016. How do you think he won Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, for example, or Ohio? This is very important, too, because Joe Biden's approval is not great, and even though Biden's winning in most head-to-head polls by a couple points, in a large extent Trump is winning also because of the curb. But let's also look at Biden's approval rating, and Biden's approval rating is lower than Trump's. And even if you assume that it is curbed as well, it is still behind. And let's look at Biden. And Biden doesn't have much more than a 40-ish% approval rating. He's not strongly supported by anybody. If it were literally any other moderate, then the other moderate would, if not for name recognition, be ahead, basically. And I think that this is really important because Donald Trump only needs to be slightly ahead of Biden to really win this. He doesn't even need the popular vote. He could lose by as much as 4 million and still win. So you go to 538. Biden's polling's looking like he's in the 40s, like I said. So disapproval's higher than approval sometimes too. This is to say that he does not stand much of a chance. Okay. The Dow's going up. The economy's recovering. It'll be a V shape, I think. Trump's opening the economy by Easter. It seems as if he's really going to make a pickup. And this is all going good for Trump as long as he can make it seem if he can blame everything on people that are not him and and then say the recovery was because of the Republicans and because of him, then not only does he have a good chance of beating Joe Biden, but he also has a good chance of winning the Congress back, keeping the Senate within 2 Senate seats, positive or negative. And overall, I think this is great, down ballot and across the board for the president too. Thank you guys for watching.